Hey there, I'm Dr. Ace. Have you ever wondered if the medications making headlines for weight loss might actually be slowing down something far more important? That is, the hidden clock inside you that determines how fast your body is aging. New research suggests these drugs may be rewriting the story of how we grow older, and the implications go far beyond losing a few pounds.
That is precisely what a growing wave of scientists is investigating right now. Drugs like Ozempic and Wegovy, built around a molecule called Semaglutide, were originally designed to treat type 2 diabetes and help people shed stubborn pounds. But researchers have started noticing something unexpected. These medications seem to touch nearly every major system inside your body at the same time. They calm chronic inflammation, stabilize blood sugar, shield your heart, protect your brain, and may even nudge the biological aging process backward. Notice how that is not one mechanism, but an entire network of effects working in concert. If that sounds like a stretch, you are right to pause. The evidence is powerful, but it is also layered with nuance, and not every claim has been proven yet. We are going to walk through the real science, separate the proven benefits from the hype, and uncover exactly what this means for you. If you are over 55, keep watching, because by the end, you will see the full picture in a way most articles never show you.
By the time we finish, you will know how these drugs work, who benefits the most, and the exact questions you need to ask your doctor before making a decision.
To understand why one medication can do all of that, you first need to grasp a framework scientists call the hallmarks of aging. Researchers have identified a core set of biological processes that drive how we grow older: metabolic shifts, chronic inflammation, cellular damage, and the gradual decline of mitochondrial function. Think of aging not as a single event, but as a cascade of interconnected failures that begin long before you notice the symptoms. Most drugs target a single disease or symptom, but GLP-1 receptor agonists hit several of these hallmarks at once, which is extremely rare in modern medicine. That multi-target effect is why they are being studied as potential gerotherapeutics, medicines designed to intervene in the aging process itself rather than simply treating the diseases that come. With it, the question you should be asking is whether hitting multiple targets simultaneously translates into benefits you can actually feel.
The very first thing GLP-1 drugs do is restore metabolic balance. As you age, the signals your cells use to sense nutrients begin to misfire. Pathways that regulate energy storage and glucose use get stuck in the wrong position, and your body starts running on inefficient fuel. GLP-1 receptor agonists essentially reset those switches, bringing insulin and glucose back into harmony. And here is where the story deepens. These drugs trigger a strong anti-inflammatory response throughout your entire body. Chronic low-grade inflammation, what scientists call inflammaging, is one of the silent drivers of heart disease, cognitive decline, and joint degeneration. You may not feel it day to day, but it is there, slowly wearing down your tissues from the inside. Multiple studies confirm that GLP-1 medications lower key inflammatory markers like tumor necrosis factor alpha, interleukin-1 beta, and interleukin-6. They also bring down levels of high-sensitivity C-reactive protein, a widely used marker for systemic inflammation. Importantly, some of that reduction happens independently of weight loss, meaning the drug itself is directly calming your immune system at a molecular level. And that is a crucial detail most people overlook.
Imagine feeling less internal wear and tear with every passing year, as if your body had turned down the volume on the background noise like it could never before.
But the story goes deeper than metabolism and inflammation. Inside every one of your cells, damaged components are quietly piling up, while your cellular maintenance crews slow down with age. Reactive oxygen species are attacking your DNA and proteins, accumulating invisible damage that accelerates aging in ways you cannot see from the outside. Meanwhile, cells that should have died years ago are lingering in a state called senescence, secreting inflammatory signals into the healthy tissue around them like invisible saboteurs. Your mitochondria, the tiny power plants inside every cell, are losing efficiency and producing less energy, which is why you may feel fatigued even when you sleep well. GLP-1 receptor agonists appear to target all three problems simultaneously. They reduce the generation of reactive oxygen species, promote the selective cleanup of damaged mitochondria through a process called mitophagy, enhance the production of ATP, your cell's energy currency, and may slow the accumulation of those senescent zombie cells. In animal models, semaglutide has been shown to markedly reduce the burden of these aging hallmarks, and it also promotes autophagy, the cellular process of clearing out damaged proteins that naturally declines as you get older.
Now let us move from cellular theory to hard human evidence, starting with the organ that keeps you alive.
The SELECT trial is one of the most important studies you should know about. It enrolled more than 17,000 participants who were overweight or obese, but without diabetes, and followed them for nearly 4 years. That is a massive, rigorous study, not a small pilot experiment. The result was clean and convincing. Semaglutide reduced the risk of major cardiovascular events, heart attack, stroke, or cardiovascular death by 20% compared to placebo. That is a number worth repeating, because a 20% reduction in cardiovascular risk is impressive. That protection appeared across all levels of body weight and waist circumference, suggesting the drug does something directly beneficial for your blood vessels and heart muscle beyond simply helping you lose weight. For anyone over 55, cardiovascular disease is the single largest threat to your health and independence, and a reduction of this magnitude is genuinely transformative. Other large-scale analyses have corroborated these findings, showing substantial reductions in heart attacks, strokes, and heart failure events. This is not theoretical. This is proven, large-scale human evidence that you can base real decisions on.
Heart is receiving powerful protection, but another vital organ is getting attention too.
Your brain deserves equal focus, and the evidence there tells a more surprising story with a hidden twist. Large observational studies involving nearly 0.7 million patients show that people taking semaglutide have a significantly lower risk of developing dementia, with some analyses pointing to risk reductions for Alzheimer's disease between 40% to 70% during the first 3 years of treatment. Another cohort study involving over 60,000 patients confirmed that treatment with semaglutide was associated with significantly lower risks of dementia, stroke, and overall mortality. But here is the twist. When researchers ran rigorous phase 3 clinical trials to treat people who already had early-stage Alzheimer's, the drug failed to slow cognitive decline. Despite encouraging shifts in brain biomarkers related to amyloid and tau pathology, the drug did not preserve cognitive function in people who were already sick. Semaglutide appears to function as a shield, preventing damage before it starts, rather than as a repair tool once disease has taken hold in the brain.
And now for the finding that places GLP-1 drugs directly on the center of longevity science.
Researchers at UC San Diego recently conducted a landmark clinical trial to test whether semaglutide could slow the pace of biological aging itself. This was a randomized, double-blind, placebo-controlled study, which is the gold standard for medical research. They used epigenetic clocks, which are biomarkers based on DNA methylation patterns that estimate your biological age and track how fast your body is aging over time. Think of it as a speedometer for your aging process, telling you not just how old you are, but how fast you are getting older. The results were striking. Semaglutide slowed the rate of biological aging, as measured by a marker called Dunedin pace, by 9%. Put plainly, the drug made participants' bodies age more slowly than they otherwise would have, and it also produced parallel reductions in other systems-based measures linked to aging of the brain and heart. A related pilot study found that over 40% of participants showed a measurable reduction in their biological aging pace. This research is still preliminary and involved specific populations, so larger studies are needed to confirm these effects in broader groups. But for the first time, we have direct human evidence that a GLP-1 medication can shift the aging process itself, moving the conversation from speculation to measurable causation.
But before you head to the pharmacy, there are hidden costs you need to see clearly.
The most overlooked risk for older adults is the silent erosion of muscle and bone. When you lose weight on GLP-1 medications, between 15% to 60% of that lost weight can come from lean muscle and bone rather than fat, depending on your individual metabolism and the specific medication you're taking. A study published in 2025 found that older adults with type 2 diabetes on semaglutide experienced measurable muscle loss and functional decline, especially at higher doses. Another study from UC San Diego revealed that people who took GLP-1 drugs without concurrent exercise lost bone density in critical areas like the hip and spine, which are precisely the areas where fractures cause the most devastating consequences in older adults. These are not abstract statistical concerns. Sarcopenia, the age-related loss of muscle, is a major driver of falls, fractures, and the loss of independence that so many older adults fear. Imagine reaching a point where the weight is gone, but so is the strength that lets you get up from a chair without help or carry groceries without fatigue. The medication is powerful, but it does not distinguish between the weight you want to shed and the strength you need to preserve.
Let us walk through the complete picture of risks and, just as importantly, what you can do about them.
Beyond muscle loss, GLP-1 medications carry a set of side effects that deserve your full attention. Nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea are among the most common complaints, and they can quietly lead to dehydration and malnutrition if you're not monitoring yourself carefully, which is especially dangerous in a frail older population. There is a documented increase in falls among older adults taking these medications, likely tied to dehydration or sudden drops in blood pressure. Then there is the quality issue that most people do not think about. The surge in popularity has flooded online markets with compounded and counterfeit versions that may contain impurities, incorrect dosages, or even bacterial contamination. The FDA has sent numerous warning letters to companies selling these unapproved products and has explicitly warned consumers about the serious safety risks involved. There is also a boxed warning for thyroid C-cell tumors, based on animal studies, so these medications are not recommended if you have a personal or family history of certain thyroid cancers.
Understanding the risks is only half of the equation. Knowing how to act on that information is where the real power lies.
Experts make a distinction that most people overlook, and it changes how you should think about these medications entirely. No one is promising you more years of life. What GLP-1 drugs appear to offer is something subtler, but arguably more valuable: health span. That is the period of life you spend in good health, free from chronic disease and disability, able to move, think, and engage with the world on your own terms. The decades of research in neuroscience have not yet produced a drug that definitively extends human lifespan. Instead, the goal is to compress morbidity, meaning to shrink the years of illness and frailty into a shorter window at the end, while expanding the years of vitality at the beginning. Picture it as keeping your engine running smoothly for as long as possible, rather than just keeping it on the road with growing problems. That reframing shifts the entire conversation from chasing an abstract notion of living forever to pursuing something concrete and deeply personal, staying functional, independent, and mentally sharp for the years that matter most to you.
Here is exactly how you can turn all of this science into a smart, personal decision with your doctor.
The first rule is simple: do not make this decision alone. Self-prescription, especially through unverified online channels selling compounded or counterfeit drugs, carries real risks. Schedule an appointment with your healthcare provider and go in fully prepared with specific questions. Instead of asking whether you should take Ozempic, frame the conversation around your specific health goals and your unique risk profile. Ask about your personal risk for developing diabetes, cardiovascular disease, or dementia, and whether a GLP-1 medication could meaningfully reduce those risks for you. Ask what benefits are most realistic in your situation, and what percentage of weight loss might come from muscle versus fat. Discuss whether you have any signs of frailty or pre-existing muscle loss that would make these medications risky for your particular case. And ask what lifestyle changes, like resistance training and higher protein intake, you should pair with the medication to protect your lean mass and bone density. One important detail to keep in mind is that the benefits of GLP-1 drugs reverse when you stop taking them. Research shows that cardiovascular risk reductions can fade shortly after discontinuation, so this is an ongoing commitment, not a one-time fix. The proven advantages for heart health, blood sugar control, and sustainable weight loss are powerful and valid reasons to consider these medications. But for those who are frail or at high risk of muscle loss, alternative strategies may be more appropriate. The best choice for you depends on your individual health picture, and the most responsible path forward is to leverage proven benefits while letting science and shared decision-making guide the way.
The research is still unfolding, but the tools are already available. Approach them with curiosity, ask the right questions, and let your doctor be your partner in protecting your health span. If you like this video, remember to like, comment, and subscribe to help the channel grow. And I see you in the next video. Bye-bye.